I am Tankfish, and I killed my whole family to get better eyes. Welcome to Shindo Life, where 90% of the population have eye mutations. The game is probably set in Hiroshima, Japan, which explains the massive amount of mutations because of, you know, radiations. Anyway, this game is basically Roblox Naruto RPG, but it's not called that way because of probably copyright issues. That is why they changed the name of the game from Shinobi Life to Shindo Life, because apparently Naruto owns the copyright of the word ninja, and all ninjas in this world are properties of Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto and the grandmaster of all ninjas. He holds the supreme Kage position within the hidden Japan village and is currently plotting to dominate the world with his Ninja Gundam anime army. Anyway, back to the point. For shits and giggles, the creator of the game changed the naming of everything in the game from actual Naruto weeb shits to some scuffed names to confuse Naruto fans. I'm just kidding, it's because of copyrights. I know, I'm funny. Because of those f***ed up names, there's always gonna be some edgy Naruto weebs trying to correct normies from calling the shit in the game what they're called in the game. If you're gonna use the word Akuma in the chat, there's always gonna be this one edgy weeb who's gonna give you an hour-long lecture on kekkei, genkai, dojutsu, Sharingan, and the fall of the Uchiha clan. Don't mind them, they don't have friends in real life. Anyway, I got curious and searched what Shindo actually f***ing means in Japanese, and apparently it's a earthquake scale. So this game is about the life of earthquake scales. What the f***? Oh yes, character customization, a place where a lot of people wasted 30 minutes of their life trying to create the most edgy character possible, only to realize afterward that they are far from being the only one wearing black clothes, rocking the protagonist's hair, and having red eyes. For me, I created Jesus. He can walk on water, and can do magic tricks such as atomizing the existence of a dude off the face of this planet. Also, why the f*** do people in Naruto wear these slipper-looking ass shoes? Like, these people run at Mach 10 and climb mountains and parkour more often than f***ing monkeys. So why the f*** do they wear shoes that leaves their toes exposed? Have you ever tried running? Just running with shoes that leaves your toes exposed? Don't try it, you'll lose your toes. It f***ing hurts. Why are they not wearing boots or like hiking shoes? Anything that doesn't leave your toes exposed. Is this a part of their training, or are they just masochists? Anyway, after finishing the look of your character, it's time for some gambling. You roll for your elements and your bloodline, because you don't decide how and where you're born. Your wallet and how much bullbucks you have does. Now, if this is your first time playing, you're probably already on Google searching Shindo Life code. If you didn't do this, you're probably kinda stupid. You'll likely find a shitload of YouTube videos where a guy rambles on and on for like 10 minutes, but doesn't really give you the code until the very end, or like somewhere in the middle, just to cuck you in the ass. And you know what? Some of them don't even work because they're outdated. Listen man, just go on wiki, it's gonna save you a ton of time. Anyway, in the end, you will only find around 5 codes that will work. Upon redeeming these codes, you'll get a crap load of rolls. Seeing all those rolls, you'll likely thought to yourself, huh, I'll probably get something good with all those rolls. Wrong. You'll likely get one of these because even after obtaining something kind of rare, you tell yourself, nah, I'm sure I'll get something better, and in the end, you don't get jack shit. This phenomenon amongst the newer player is scientifically known as gambling addiction. Or you can just pull one of the oldest tricks in the book and keep creating new Roblox accounts to reuse the codes until you get something good. It only takes 5 seconds and no brain cell to create a new account. The only thing standing in your way is the CAPTCHA. The Roblox CAPTCHA. Oh yeah, and also if you don't spend 300 bullbucks for the spin storage game pass, you gotta spin them manually, and you have to wait every time for it to spin. Good luck, have fun. If you have pickpocket 100 and stole your mom's credit card for that fat bullbucks, then you should probably buy the Bloodline back game pass to make sure that, you know, your gambling addiction doesn't f you over. It stores all the shits you've rolled before, so in case you want to use something you've had before, you can just go and get it. It's as if you gave Genetic the metaphorical middle finger. Genetic, am I right? I'll change my DNA anytime. The elements don't matter that much because they all have the same rarity, meaning it's pretty easy to get the elements that you want. The elemental skills are decent, they're not the best in PvP, but in PvE they'll likely get the jobs done. For shits and giggles, you can unlock all 4 element slots and call yourself the Avatar, master of all 4 elements. Bloodlines, however, is a whole different story. In fact, you're more likely die in a car accident than getting whatever the f this is and whatever the f this is. Their rates are pretty f***ed fucked up, but luckily the game provides you with plenty of rolls, so you do in fact have a small chance of getting those. The game also has a pity system where if you don't get anything rare in 80 pulls, it will give you a rare bloodline in the next pull. And by rare I mean something around 2% chance of getting, which is actually not very rare, so yeah, the game is telling you to go f yourself. Each bloodline has 3 unique abilities, and usually you build your character around those abilities because bloodline abilities are usually very busted. Some of the rare bloodlines have modes and mode abilities, which are also very busted. Now, how much more overpowered are the rare bloodlines? Oh well, you tell me. But even if your bloodline is not the rarest, if you use it properly, you can still kick major ass. That is, unless your bloodline actually just sucks ass. Sadly, if your opponent is on a similar skill level and has a way better bloodline, prepare to have your anus be ripped to shred. If you're filthy rich, you can unlock the 3rd and 4th bloodline slot, so you can have more varieties in your build, and hey, at least you know for sure you're not a f***ing inbred. Boo-hoo, you don't have a good bloodline, but don't worry, there are still stuff that everyone can get. With the exception of most of the martial arts and certain sub-abilities that you can directly buy with ninja cash. Most of the sub-abilities are unlockable by collecting scrolls that may or may not spawn in certain location at a certain time. Why? Because you, it's to make your life hell. It doesn't make the items any rarer, it just makes it more annoying to farm and more accessible to kids with private server game pass. Because no, you don't get abilities by fighting bosses or something. You get abilities by staring at the right upper corner of the screen with an Excel sheet open while server jumping non-stop, because that's how you have fun. Now, if you're poor as you have to rely on public private servers to farm abilities. I know that sounds weird, but once you get into it, you all know exactly what I mean. I assure you, it's hella fun. That's sarcasm. If you don't get it, it's a pain in the ass. Who thought it was a good idea? Who thought it was a good idea? I eventually got tired and stole my mom's credit card for the private server pass. Honestly, most of the good abilities are found here, and more often than not, you find yourself using those more than your elemental abilities. They're usually really good for combos and opening a fight, or just straight up annoying. 1,000 years of death. Papa Franco taught me well. Yeah, it doesn't matter which stat you upgrade first, because you'll eventually max them out anyway. For some reason, there are several game modes in Shindo Life. RPG is a normal game mode where you grind, bully people who are weaker than you, and just do normal f***ing RPG shit. Story mode is for a bunch of Naruto wannabes to roleplay in a quarantine and controlled environment. You need permissions and shit to get in, man. I wasn't invited. I have no idea what the f*** is going on there. Maybe there's some Mongolian invasion right now in the story mode. I don't f***ing know. Arena mode is where you use all your money to buy the best moveset possible to wreck other people so you can call them a noob and tell them that the fight is easy! Arena X mode is where you use your own RPG moveset to wreck other people so you can call them a noob and tell them that the fight is easy! War mode is a co-op game mode where you fight a bunch of red dudes trying to demolish this building in the middle of nowhere. There are a bunch of Red Lives Matter protesters trying to loot this building, and you are a police officer ready to protect and serve and beat down the minorities. This is also where you unlock the 10 tails and the true samurai spirits. You get these by murdering bosses that spawns every 5 rounds. All the boss drop something except the first boss. I think the first boss is just a homeless person who just happened to be here. And now there's a new game mode, it's called Conquest. It is a running simulator with capture points and where you can kill people. The first team that reaches maximum points wins, and to get points you gotta kill people and capture points. Honestly, just get a bunch of AoE abilities and just spam. Usually people grind by doing war modes and doing missions. Some thinks they're slick and AFK farm by punching logs, but they still realize that it gives progress. There are different sorts of missions ranging from doing janitor works to straight up going full hitman mode and murdering people. I know, ninjas can do a lot of things, but people usually choose to murder people instead of finding a legit job because violence is the answer to all your problems. Now if you're a sweat who somehow has friends and can form a party, you can have one guy staying in town to accept quests while the others spread out and complete the quests that are closest to them. This is the fastest way to grant experience because experience is shared across the party. I know, communism is the best. Once you get to level 1000, you can either say f it and just stay at level 1000 because you're tired of farming out of this game. Or if you have no life, you can choose to rank up and regret about your decision after seeing all the single-digit numbers and remembering the pain you went through to get to level 1000. So yeah, while you rank up, your level resets back to 1 and you have to grind up all over again. But hey, at least you don't lose any stuff other than your levels and stats. So don't cry about it for like 30 minutes. What about the rewards? Well, first, the game makes your letter or number goes up, and that is like a drug. That makes you happy, and that makes you crave for more. Second, your stats cap will be increased by 200 every time you hit a new letter, so you do become a little bit stronger. And finally, you get free spins, but you still get shit, so it doesn't matter. Other than the level grinds, you also have to farm ability scrolls by literally not playing the game, but server hopping for hours instead, hoping to find something. Oh, and there's also the 10 tail and chew samurai spirit farm, where you rage over the incompetency of your teammates and some f***ers thinking that it's a good idea to AFK in the in war mode. If RNGesus hates you, you always get the samurai spirits that you don't need. It'll take you an eternity to get the 10 tail mode that has 1 out of 30 chance to spawn. This drop rate is basically an extra f you because getting to wave 20 is already a accomplishment on its own. If your luck is just absolutely shit and you still don't have a decent bloodline despite the fact that Rell's game gives out rolls like Halloween candies, well, you can kind of grind rolls by participating in arena since you can exchange rolls with the arena currency. You must be really desperate if you're doing that. Finally, you're at the end game where you no longer have anything to grind anymore. All this power, what do you do with it? Well, the answer is clear, since this is a Roblox RPG game and there's nothing left to do, just abuse the shit out of it and spawn kill noobs. Make their life hell so you feel better about yours. You have nothing better to do anyways. At this point, you've probably played so many games of war mode that simply hearing about it will makes you want to barf. And why play arena where you might get killed and feel bad about yourself? Just exterminate those who are weaker than you because this world is unfair. They can cry about it. Or you can strive to become stronger because this game is actually skill based, and then you can proudly call yourself a Shindo Life sweat.